cháu mà chào bà cháu bà. Tôi bảo bố lên chém tay bảo con chém tay ta tụi bạn lại cho bạn vào đó. Đây một cơ hội chém tay nói thầy nhé mà. Camera chào bà bố lên cháu mà chào bà bố lên cháu bà. Tôi bảo bố lên chém tay bảo con chém tay ta tụi bạn lại cho bạn vào đó. Đây một cơ hội chém tay nói thầy nhé mà.
Good morning, everybody. It's about 4:30 right now. So I'm pretty sure you guys all know what happened yesterday. Yesterday was the ceasefire agreement that was signed. And from what I've seen so far since 12 o'clock yesterday, it's been pretty quiet. So I have a feeling this ceasefire is going to last this time. But we're still iffy because you know how those CMs are, the fucking lady boys. You can't trust them. You can't trust thieves. Nothing they say is in concrete, nothing in writing, nothing. They don't honor anything. So we don't trust them, and we'll just have to wait and see and just be patient, right? Okay, so I want to talk about something. I've been, paying attention to. I've been reading a lot of the comments that have been left, and there's a lot. There's always a debate about the current state of the Khmer military, the type of weapons that they've been using, and there's a lot of stuff that's been being said about, a lot of criticism that's coming towards the Khmer military, right? And I agree with everything. I agree with everything that you guys are saying, like the corruption, the, being underprepared, not buying any anti-aircraft weapons, stuff like that. And it comes down to everything, you can blame it on anything and everything and everybody, right? Because you could say that the government was being complacent and getting too comfortable, letting the enemy, get too close to us and forgetting about how they really feel. And that's the thing, just, being too comfortable. Even the people, everybody, like I myself didn't even realize that, they felt like this towards us. I never knew that, until this conflict arose. And now we see on full display their hatred, the way that they really feel about us. And now I'm pretty sure the government will have to make some sort of adjustments with the military. Well, there have been some adjustments already. There was a draft not too long ago, and they brought in a whole bunch of younger guys. They're all in training right now. But I'm pretty sure next year the budget for defense is going to be raised. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be more conscriptions for the military. And there's a lot of criticism about what's going on, what type of weapons that the Khmer military has, and I understand, but you have to understand this also, that Cambodia was war-torn not too long ago, right? And real peace didn't start until 1998, because 1998 was when all the, the Khmer Rouge and everything, that's when they finally put down their weapons. That's when all the civil war really stopped, right? So from 1998 until now, you can think, how many years is that? So, 27 years, right? 27 years only of peace, okay? Versus, Thailand. Look at how long they've had peace. Look how long they've had a chance to build their economy, to build their military, And we've only had 27 years, of peace. And of course, there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of all types of different things that you can say about Cambodia. Cambodia is not perfect, and there's no country in this world that is perfect. I don't care what country you say. You know, what country you can point at? There's no such thing as a perfect country. There's no politician that isn't crooked in any country. Okay, so you know, I thank you for all for the comments. You know, all the points that you guys put out. You know, it's a good debate. It's a good exchange of ideas, and I'm pretty sure the Khmer government, they're gonna take this all into consideration, and they know, you know, like all the weak points and stuff, because I don't think they expected Thailand to bring that much heat, especially with the fighter jets and dropping bombs all over the place, you know. But one thing I can say is I'm proud of the Khmer military, and that they stood their ground and they put up a fight against a bigger opponent, right? So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who doubted the Khmer military and thought, man, Cambodia's going to lose, Cambodia's going to lose. And I see a lot of comments too, you know, that say, you guys are going to lose, you guys are going to lose. And people are telling me, you need to flee, you need to run, right? I know you're concerned about my safety. I know you're concerned about our well-being, but I told you I have faith in the military because my family, all my relatives, they're in the military, and they give me up to the minute news of what's happening. So I know exactly what's happening on the ground, okay? And that's why I keep telling you guys that I have faith in them, all right? So let's see, I just wanted to address something like, I've done this before, and I just wanted to point out some things to, you know, those, you know, they're not like trolls to me. Like I said, they're more like viruses, you know, because they don't contribute to the conversation. They don't have anything intelligent to say. They come from a, you know, very small-minded, background. I don't think they even finish high school or even middle school. But you could just tell by the way they speak and the way they comment that they don't have much of an education, so they don't have anything to contribute, right? And I wanted to just say this to those guys, those people, those viruses that keep trying to incite and trying to provoke and trying to get me to react to different comments, for me to step out of my character, to stoop down to their level and bring my IQ lower so I can meet with them, because they have half a brain and they don't even know how to use that. So I just want to tell you guys this, right? Those little viruses. The reason why I am the way I am today, the reason why I'm so humble, the reason why I'm so composed is because I know what it's like to step out of character. I've seen myself step out of character. I've seen what other people can do to other people. That's the reason why I'm so humble. That's the reason why I stand on humility, because I know, right, that, you know, what one man can do to another is pretty ugly, all right? And you guys, those viruses that keep trying to incite and provoke like some sort of conflict, or for me to step out of my character, is because you haven't ever had a good ass whooping. All right? And I know how to give one, and I know what it feels like to receive one. That's the reason why I have so much respect for people, all right? And you guys, those viruses, haven't had a good ass whooping, and that's the reason why you feel so comfortable with trying to provoke and incite and get me to step out of my character, because you haven't had a good ass whooping. But if you do want one, I can give it to you. All right? Okay. So I got that out of the way. Just wanted to get that off my chest, because there's a lot of comments that, you know, just ridiculous, you know. Okay. So on the 26th, right? 26th was the day before the, what do you call that? The ceasefire. They were supposed to have a GBC meeting, the final GBC meeting, right? So on the 26th, they launched a Hail Mary attack, right? Starting at like 7 a.m. They came in with, you know, they dropped like 40 bombs from F-16, you know, from fighter jets, like nonstop. And that area was Nong Chan. Nong Chan is, Obei-chan, where they kicked out all those, the villagers out of their homes. And I guess they just did like a Hail Mary where they attacked with 40 bombs. You can imagine that that is like a border town, right? It's not even really a big city, or anything. It's just small, like a small little village, right? So they flattened that whole city with 40 bombs that they dropped. And then after that, they sent they shot 360 artillery shells in there, like the whole morning, like a half a day, right? That's all they did, just bombed it and shot artillery shells into there, right? And that was their Hail Mary attack. They did that, you know, the day before the GBC meeting, so that they can try to grab land, you know. So they did that, and then they paused after all that. They paused after all that, and they waited to see what happened with the Khmer military, right? So once they did that, they waited, and they were like, they wanted to see, you know, if the Khmer military was going to react, but they didn't. The Khmer military did not react. They just went quiet, right? They went quiet, and then the Thai side was like, what the fuck? What happened to them? Did we kill all of them or something? And there was just no movement, no response, no return fire or nothing, right? And so they were like, oh shit, they withdrew, you know? And there were even messages that were put out online on Facebook saying that, oh man, they overpowered us and we have to withdraw. Our front line has broken, right? And it just made everybody, you know, like us, you know, we saw that and we were like, oh fuck, because they got overpowered, you know, and that was the intention. That was the purpose of sending that message out, because the Thai side, they love to watch our news. They love to stalk us on Facebook. So we gave them the impression that we withdrew. But little did they know what was going to happen next. So what they did was they invaded with their tanks and everything. They had foot soldiers come in and all that, you know, and they were screaming and yelling. They were, you know, screaming all types of stuff, you know, like victory, you know. They came in, and then out of nowhere, the Khmer military were underground, just like in Vietnam, right? Just like in Vietnam, when the B-52s were dropping bombs on Vietnam, you know, they kept trying to figure out, like, where were they? Where were the Vietnamese soldiers? How come, you know, we can't find them? And how come we can't defeat them, right? They were all hiding underground. And they just waited for the bombs to stop dropping, right? And once the bombs stopped dropping, you know the foot soldiers are going to come in. And when the foot soldiers come in, just come out from underground and just annihilate them. So there's a video that I put in the front in the beginning, right, of Khmer soldiers celebrating. And they were celebrating the ceasefire, you know, and I don't know, you guys tell me, why would they be celebrating like that if they were losing? And like I said, I keep telling you guys that, you know, I have faith in the military, okay? Because I know firsthand, I get firsthand information from all my relatives, okay? So that happened, and they're trying to figure out what happened now, you know, like how come my military, you know, like how come they fight like that? You have to fight like that. It's like a chess game, right? A chess game, you have to understand like your opponent, you have to understand what they do, how they move, and also you have to understand how to force them to move, right? For you to get them into a position of being in checkmate, right? You don't always have to force the move and, you know, go on the offensive, right? Sometimes you just have to set them up, like, okay, you're sacrificing certain things to make it seem like you're losing. But in reality, you're just setting them up for their annihilation, all right? So I don't know if you guys play chess, but I do, and I love it, you know? That's what I like to do, because you always have to make sure you stay ahead of the enemy, and sometimes you just make sacrifices just so you can go in for the kill, all right? Okay, so there's a there's a lot of I've seen a lot of things online about they call Thailand the Taliban, right? Thailiban, right? Thailiban, because they are damaging religious sites. They knocked down the statue of Lord Vishnu that was at the border, and they're claiming that it's for a different reason, right? They're saying they're clearing it out for security, right? But their soldiers, while they were doing it, they were yelling and screaming, and they were happy, and they're like, yeah. But at the same time, Thailand, you're claiming to be religious, you're claiming to be Buddhist, you're claiming to be peaceful. But what you did was not what you claimed to be. It's like a lot of people, like I've seen, like online especially, right? They act like they're religious, or they claim to be Buddhist, and they'll quote like certain Buddhist sayings and say, you know, in Buddhism is this, in Buddhism is that. But you don't practice Buddhism religiously is a discipline. Like me, I don't claim to be Buddhist. I just say that I'm learning from it, and I like certain things from it. So I don't practice it like faithfully. So I can't say that I am Buddhist. I'm just saying that I'm learning from things and I'm sharing. That's it. But then there's people who claim to be Buddhists, talking about peace and talking about karma while demonstrating something else. So they're just posers, right? It's convenient for them to use that to make it seem like they're a good person, okay? Just like Thailand, that's what they're doing. They're claiming to be Buddhist, they're claiming to be peaceful, but their actions show otherwise, all right? Anatin, right, he compared when India put out a statement about, they said that that act of knocking down that statue was very disrespectful to Hindu religion, right? And Anutin, the fucking train wreck, piece of shit PM, he responded by saying that a statue doesn't compare to their soldiers' limbs, right? So in Asian culture, it is very rude and disrespectful to use your feet to compare to somebody's head. And now imagine somebody's feet, somebody's leg compared to somebody's God, all right? If you were really, truly religious, you would know the difference. You would not say that. And also, their soldiers who did that, they should have known better, right? If you guys are really religious and really peaceful, you would not knock down a statue, all right? And international community, the Indians, a lot of the Hindus and the Buddhists all across Asia are starting to wake up, and they're starting to see Thailand for who they are and what they really stand for. So there's a lot of people that are researching about Cambodia right now. A lot of Indians that are, taking notice, and they're starting to notice, like, whoa, there's Hindu temples in Cambodia, and now those Hindus, and they're not just in India, right? They're all over the place. Pakistan, Nepal, and they're all saying, maybe it's time to boycott Thailand. So there's a trend that's going on online right now about boycotting Thailand. And so they're saying boycotting their products, boycotting their country, all types of stuff right now. So Taliban, you guys have awoken Lord Vishnu, and you have brought this to yourself, okay? You have done this to yourself. This was self-inflicted because we told you that we wanted peace, and we told you that we were peaceful, right? But now you've awakened Lord Vishnu, and all of the people who worship him are starting to see you for who you truly are, okay? This is such a shame, a damn shame, right? Okay, let's see. There's a subscriber who wanted me to talk about this U.S. Army guy, some Thai guy, I think. He's in America, but he gets a lot of attention from the Thai trolls, right? Yeah, I've seen his videos, and he talks a lot of shit, And for me, to be honest with you, people like him, he's just a troll, like a virus, right? I don't like to put the spotlight on things like that, on people like that. We need to stop making stupid people famous, because it only gives them more attention. That's what they want. That's what they need. That's how they thrive, right? Because they get that attention. They do it because they want that attention, all right? So we don't need to shine more light on those type of people. I mean, in the beginning, when the conflict started, I remember seeing his videos also, and it pissed me off, the way he was speaking. And it's like, man, he's a U.S. military, he's in the military, but he's backing Thailand. He doesn't know how to differentiate between, what's really happening. And he's speaking up for Thailand, Like, it's okay for you to speak up for Thailand, but at least use facts. At least try to get the correct facts, And we can debate based on facts on what's right and what's wrong, But what he's doing is he's trying to promote hate. He's pushing hate towards Cambodians, And I don't ever see, to be honest with you, like, on the Cambodian side, you could look through Facebook, you could look through all the social media platforms. I don't care where Cambodians are from, like even France, in Australia, in America, New Zealand, right? No Cambodians are asking for more war. None of them, all right? Everybody is asking for peace. That's it. But on the other side, for these fucking Thalibans, they ask for more war. They ask for more, they're saying let's annihilate Cambodians, And it's like, what the fuck, Like, you guys pretend to be peaceful, but you keep asking for war. And we had peace marches like twice already to try and stop the war. But Thailand has had none. No peace marches, okay? Makes no damn sense. And also, I want to talk about those the expats that are in Thailand, right? All those expats that are in Thailand that do social media, I'm pretty sure you guys are biased, and there's a reason why. Because you like to drink that ladyboy sauce, You guys are in love with one of those ladyboys or whatever. I don't know what the fuck it is, but you guys are still blind for some reason, You don't see, the deep strikes on Cambodian infrastructure going past the border, 100 kilometers, 80 kilometers into Cambodia. And for some reason, you guys are blind to all that. And all you talk about is, Thailand being the victim, or Thailand not, just executing self-defense. And it's like, are you guys serious? Like, I don't understand. Like, especially if you're an expat, you should be able to differentiate between self-defense and invasion, right? Bombing infrastructure, coming deep into somebody else's territory, but you're saying it's a border conflict, and everything that's going on right now is an invasion. It's not just a self-defense. And you guys should be more aware of how borders work, right? Borders, right? If it's a border conflict, focus on the border. But this time it's a 800-kilometer border, right? All across the border, there's fighting, And you expats that are in Thailand, for some reason, how come you don't have the ability to like see that? You don't see any of that. It makes no sense. All right. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about that. Ceasefire is holding up right now. It's pretty quiet. Things are normal, and looking forward to New Year. Hopefully we can celebrate New Year without any issues. I really want to get back to normal and have things quiet down and calm down. There was a subscriber who asked me to do a GoFundMe again, a second round, but I can't make any promises right now because, like I said, we're essential to the village, to the community, and us even closing the door for even half a day, the villagers will panic. They panic because, these little stalls that are along the road, right? They sell whatever they can for the day, and then the next day they'll come in and they'll buy more supplies to sell again, So they operate, based on, like whatever they sell, whatever little profit they make, they'll come again and then they'll buy more, whatever they need. They don't overspend, and that's the thing. The people right now, they're not spending much because they're afraid, something might happen. So they're all in fear, and they just come and get what they need, and then the next day they'll come again and sell whatever they can afford, So it's very difficult for us to close the shop, even for half a day, because we have to keep the supply going, So yeah, the GoFundMe was very successful last time. There was a lot of people that helped out, and I put in a lot of work, but for doing it another round, I don't know if I can do it because we're very busy, every single day, because it's just me and my wife, and we have 3 kids, So that's the reason why in the morning time, this is the reason why I wake up so early to make these videos, so that I can get whatever I want to say out. But then as soon as we open the shop doors, just complete chaos. Everybody is they like to come in the morning, right, to buy their supplies, because from what we've seen with the bombings, right, most of the bombings occur between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So everybody will rush and come to get their supplies in the morning time, and then they'll go back to their homes, and then they'll wait there just to see, you can see even on the road, there's no traffic during those times, between 10 and 2, no traffic at all. Everybody's at home just in fear, just waiting to see, whatever happens. So yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for all the people that are new to the channel. Thank you so much for contributing and being productive with the comments. I appreciate all you guys. And then those little viruses that keep trying to invoke me, you just need a good ass whooping. That's the reason why you guys are so comfortable with talking shit online. And the reason why I smile is because I'm humble. Okay, all right, see you guys next time.